Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Majin Starcraft. Today we're gonna have another how not to play Starcraft game, and it's gonna feature Ninjabear again. I think I'm gonna make him the star of these shows. Wonder if he'll like that. We'll see what he does to me when I actually see him. And Korwin the Red Terran. So it is going to be a Protoss versus Terran match, and this is going to be an interesting game because we're going to see a tactic that I was told. I haven't seen the game yet. I was told that it's a interesting tactic to watch, but you don't really need to do it at this level. Again, this is a novice map, so we do have these rocks and these rocks, so these players haven't even qualified for one of the official leagues yet. So these players are technically just learning the game. We could assume that Korwin or Ninjabear are old players from StarCraft 1 who are now finally making the transition to StarCraft 2 and can try old new builds because they have a good handle on micro and macro gaming. But since they're probably not, I suppose that going a lot more standard builds and trying to learn how to macro up and micro is the first thing you need to do. Sure, when you actually have a handle on those things, you can try crazy builds like, I don't know, Planetary Fortress Rush. But until then, doing some kind of crazy build is more to your disadvantage. Why? Because you do not learn how to play, you do not learn how to control your units perfectly, and you just find yourself in strange situations that you otherwise wouldn't be in. You need, as a learning player, you need to accept the losses that you have, you need to accept your own limitations and build accordingly. Once you become a better player, then go nuts. So, let's get it down to the build order. So far, the income, of course, is favoring the Protoss because, well, he has Chrono Boost, and production line says that we have these two. Production says that we have another gateway up for Ninjabear, a first gateway. Actually, not another gateway. We have finally the second gas for Ninjabear, while Korwin got two gas simultaneously, which does suggest maybe a gas-intensive build. And again, this is what I was talking about, a crazy build or a crazy build that just might not work. But then again, a lot of units cost cash. You can maybe see mass Thors. And we could see, because there's a factory going down, and there is absolutely no reactor or tech lab for this one. We just have a few Marines coming out, probably just to hold the ramp in case. But on the other side, we have warp gate technology being chrono boosted out. We have a second gateway. We're gonna have two warp gates. So nothing really special from Ninjabear. But Korwin is gonna be interesting in what he does. He doesn't have. He's not pumping out anything from this barrack, so clearly maybe we're going to see a 1-1-1 build and something strange from there. We'll see what he builds after this factory, I suppose. Considering the last game that I cast, this is great. This is absolutely great. We have an orbital command ready, and this mule is going to help the economy. Let's look at that income. As you can see, even though Ninjabear has 21 harvesters over 18-19, the income is favoring the Terran by a lot. Because of this one mule. Mules make a lot of difference. Where did the factory go? Interesting, very interesting. He's going to use the factory to scout. This is, again, a pro-level move, and you can use the factory to scout simply because once you've scouted, you can you can pretty much circle the entire base, and the factory is robust, and it's not going to go down that easy. And there is that strange play. We have 3 starports coming out. Now, what this could mean is Banshees. And Banshees are very good for harassing once you get that cloak, and if Ninjabear will not have an observer out or photon cannon, Banshees can just simply pick off pylons, supply block him, pick off probes, wreck his economy. Banshees are really, really good. But we'll see if he makes it work. The factory finally is reaching the place, but see this pylon? This pylon is great positioning because it scouts this before the factory actually gets inside the base, and now the stalkers are going to go to work on the factory. Will it manage to scout anything? I don't know. With another stalker coming out, what's he doing? He needs to push on. Ooh, coming back is not such a good plan because right now this factory is gonna go in the red and it's not gonna pay for itself. It's gonna go red, it's gonna blow up, and there it is. It's on fire. It will blow up at this point. And he pretty much did. He actually scout? Let's see. Nah, nope. He hasn't scouted anything. So basically, this factory was a waste of money and a waste of time to fly it all the way across the map. But and that is bad. On Novice map, a tip I would actually suggest is getting that early tech lab on the barracks and making one Reaper. Don't use mass Reapers or cheese play, but you can use the Reaper to scout. Unlike other players, as Terrans, you have this advantage to abuse cliffs and just simply move around the base. Once you've scouted the entire base, you can try get some SCV kills, but an even late Reaper can do the scouting, and thus you won't be forced to use the energy for the scanner sweep. I think he should pull down another mule, and I suppose he will soon because he's having a lot of energy. And there's that second mule, and let's see, ravens. We're gonna have ravens. So there's that funky build that I was told about. We're gonna have mass ravens. Now this is a interesting build because I've seen mass ravens do a lot of damage. I've seen this build work. We have already a second command center coming up here. We have these gas and these poor drones are long distance mining, but the whole point of this command center is actually to support this very gas intensive build. And these ravens are gonna be good because we actually have Hunter-Seeker missiles. Well, Seeker missiles. I call them Hunter-Seeker missiles from the beta. We have the Seeker missiles coming up, and these are gonna do a lot of damage if used correctly, but we see if he can use them correctly. On the other side of the map, we have a lot of stalkers with blink already, probably from this Templar Archives, and this is good. This is very good for Ninjabear. Let's see if Ninjabear hasn't scouted. He doesn't know what he's up against. And finally, Observer will go up there and see what is going on. But this is very good for Ninjabear. Why? The auto turrets are auto turrets. He's going to have to deal with those. But the Blink Stalkers are going to make it fairly easy to get away from the Seeker missiles if the missiles are not positioned correctly. There's that Observer finally coming into the base, and they are auto turrets putting down to try and take out this Observer. He's going to... Oh, he falls. He hasn't noticed that there are two Ravens, but he only sees two starports. Now, what I would recommend in this type of situation is simple. As a Terran player, transition. If your build has been scouted, do something with it there and then on the spot. In other words, get these Ravens, move them in, do as much damage as you can, and transition into something else. Banshees, lift these up, build factories instead, build barracks, go Mass Marauder build or Mass Marauder Marine, and maybe get some reactors out and get some medevacs. Transition your builds. Once you've been scouted, it's very easily to get countered. Pushing and forcing your way into a build is not necessarily a good idea. So these Ravens are just going to sit here and watch that dead battle cruiser and think, oh boy, that's going to be us soon. Because apparently this map is not friendly towards Terran. Let's see, what are these weapons going to do? They have a clear shot of doing some real damage here, and there goes the auto turrets scaring away probes, killing maybe one. I don't know. I saw one going down and going to do some significant amount of damage, but never mind. These stalkers are going to come in here and destroy these turrets, and will a stalker go down? This one is really in low, and will it go down? Oh, it goes down. So one stalker lost to auto turrets. Now, the good part about this build is that no matter how many auto turrets Korwin loses, he doesn't lose any minerals or gas. These are free. These are energy. These are refundable. You can basically cast 1,000,000 of these. And Ninjabear is building 2 pylons, and since he has a forge up here, and he's already gotten ground weapons level 1, he's probably going to use these pylons to put a few photon cannons here to protect against further harassment. This observer here can't actually go into the base because of this Raven. An auto turret will take out this poor observer, and this is the perfect time for Korwin to transition. If Korwin transitions, Ninjabear is in a lot of trouble. But apparently he's not going to do that. We have 2 robotics facilities and a robo bay, which might mean Colossi. We shall see. and might mean Colossi. There are 2 Colossi on the map already in Korwin's base, and he's gonna do some significant amount of damage. Up here, these Ravens have actually dropped a couple of auto turrets, but the army of Ninjabear is in perfect position to counter, takes out the auto turrets, and maybe takes out one Raven. No, he doesn't. But I don't see Korwin actually doing a lot of damage. So I don't think that he actually managed to do anything. He has a lot of Ravens. If he pushes in, he might do something. But inside the base, the Colossi have probably taken out all these pros. Let's see the kills, 17 and 5. Yes, these Colossi have gotten a lot of kills, and they're going to kill this command center, which is pretty big because this is a planetary fortress. And if he loses this, the mule ability is gone. He doesn't have any more units to pump out. He won't have any more mules, or if he gets supply block, he won't be able to call down extra supplies or use scanner sweep. He's still pumping out Ravens, which is bad. Let's look at this. Raven has a build time of 60 seconds. Vikings have a build time of 42. If he would have built 3 Vikings from all of these Colossi would have become useless. Now he has 3 Ravens with no energy for only 1 auto turret. The auto turrets will go down, but I don't think that 3 auto turrets will be able to do enough damage to take out 2 Colossi. Finally, 2 more Ravens come. Why these Ravens are here, I have no idea. And Ninjabear has already moved across the map with his entire army, gonna push in these 2 bunkers with 8 Marines. I'm not going to stop that. Korwin is pretty much done at this point. So that's kind of it. Soon the game will be over. He's going to have to force the GG out of there. There's no mining on the minerals here. If he might use the SCVs to repair the planetary fortress, he might do some damage. But with the Guardian Shield up, the fortress's damage is reduced considerably, and the SCVs do not repair. Both command centers are down. He does have a lot of resources stacked, and he calls the GG. Well, interesting game. What I'd recommend is, again, he went a really strange build, a pro-level build, because these Ravens require a lot of micro and a lot of macro to win. And let's say that he would have done good micro, which he kind of didn't, because if he would have done, he would have really done some serious damage upon this expansion, or maybe even moved down here. But he didn't have good macro, or he didn't have micro. He didn't even have good macro, because look at this: 1,000 minerals and 600 gas. That is a lot of resources. Could have, and this time he could have used this 1 barracks just to pump out Marines, get that tech lab, just put out a few Marauders, maybe even, as I said, get some Vikings and counter those 2 Colossi. Maybe even build another factory and get some siege tanks. Korwin just did not transition, forced the play, forced a tactic, and it didn't work for him. On the other hand, he did try to learn a new tactic, but I don't think that, considering his level of play, his level of the 2 major factors, macro and micro, this is not the time for him to learn these kinds of plays. Let's look at the APM. As you can see, this APM is actually, again, suggestive. Ninjabear is not high, 54 and 60 in current APM and 54 average. He has a action of 25, an average of 25 actions per minute. Let's see. That is for every second. What is that? That means he does an action every 3 seconds. So you count 1, 2, 3. 1 action. 1, 2, 3. Another action. That is low. That is very low. And considering that he has such a low style of play, going this kind of crazy build is just not worth it. You don't learn anything, it doesn't work, because it just doesn't. It is not a play that you try to do when you can't play. Well, thank you for watching, and I'll see everybody at the next episode.